Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome back.
Welcome to EMS Studio Secrets. Still with the old name, but we're going to change it eventually, right? So
Sure.
this is the second part
Or it's a new
because
episode.
it's a new episode, but it's the second part because we last podcast we talked about bringing, like you behind the scenes and what it does look like to work with us and what we're actually doing with you when you come on board. And we started talking about the first two important steps, and this is like really understanding who you want to serve
Yeah.
and not thinking that because you have an amazing tool that could help everyone, that mean you have to serve everyone or
No,
market to everyone, because you cannot, you don't have the budget for it, believe me.
definitely.
But to define that, and then we talked about the irresistible offer, and today we're going to talk about the next big step, and this is building strategic winning campaigns.
Yeah. So there are different ways to get leads, but in order to go faster, you really need a paid local targeting campaign. And the reason why is because you really want to get that boost of new clients and existing clients or people that are following you around you that will see and get an opportunity to go into what your new offer is, your transformation, and letting people know. Because if nobody knows you, and the reality is, even today, nobody knows us. Like, you have to do paid marketing, you have to get out there. And especially with a local business, there's so much competition for attention. And the way to break through that is definitely paid ads.
Yes, I just think there's such a stigma that comes with that.
Okay.
And what I see every single day is that people, because a lack of know-how, and it's also uncomfortable because the first word you said is paid campaign, so you're paying for it, and that puts a lot of people unease because now you're spending money, and the moment it doesn't work perfectly, they drop it. They're like, oh, it doesn't work, and they change it, and then sometimes they change it 3 times and without skill, and then they're dropping it and say, oh, cold leads didn't work for us.
Yeah. So you definitely need a strategy. You need, like we talked about earlier, to know who your dream client is and talk directly to them. And the reality is that with paid ads, females have been tested to perform better initially. So if there's a male avatar and a female avatar, your best bet is to start off with attracting that dream client female avatar and calling her out and telling her to come in for a transformation, for a dream destination of what their pain point is and how you're removing that.
Yes, and we do not advise to run campaigns to educate people about EMS.
Yes.
That
So
is something that should have been done by the suppliers. That's something that should be done by franchisors. If you are a franchisee, if you're a normal EMS studio, that's not your job. And that's something we as an industry should complain about, because that's something that makes me so upset that from the beginning, instead of investing into educating about the product, the suppliers did not do that, because we were their best marketing tool, because we display it, we showcase it, we build all these case studies, and their efforts on really having a budget on educating the market is like, it just simply don't happen. Like, I have never seen it. I've never seen the big suppliers or the big franchises. I have never seen an ad that really did product like education. I mean, there are some, but it is very rare, and not in the length that they should have gone. And now studio owners are left with that, and they think that's what they have to do. And obviously, if you are running campaigns that are educational, it costs so much money. So what we do instead is, instead of like going the route of, educating about electromuscular stimulation, we really want to talk about that pain point that your dream customer has. And that is really primarily the important step.
yeah. So here is our advice. If you want to run campaigns with us, or if you want to do it with another agency, this is what you should expect from your agency in your launch campaign. And that is start with a meta campaign, start with a small budget, and start with 3 to 5 creatives in your local area. Don't do a balance between 5 to 7 miles, not further. Just imagine people driving to your studio, and you know how far they're going to go. So do that radius, and then in your ad copy and in your ad creative, which is the most important. This is the one that's going to leverage the most. You should be calling out your dream client. You should be telling them about your transformation, or the new 6 week, the new 8 week, the new biohacking transformation that you're offering, and tell them the available spots that you have that week. So only 10 spots left. Hurry and sign up. And your ad copy should reflect the same urgency, scarcity, that you're starting a new transformation on Monday, and we take them to a lead form campaign, because if you don't have a landing page, that's the next best thing to get started right away. You take them on a lead form campaign. You tell them again what the dream result is that they're going to get, and how they have to sign up fast, because you only have a limited amount of spots, which you do. And then you point them to a calendar. If you don't have a calendar that they can go to, then get one with Calendly. You can set that up for free. With us, we provide one with our CRM that we customize for our EMS studios. We're using Go High Level, and that provides a calendar that they can book right into your session. And let them book, and then right away you should have automations or the availability to call them right away, because speed to lead is the most important thing. So that's a general overview of what you should have in your campaign and the platform you should use, and if you have an agency, tell them to do this. Because if they're not doing this, and if they're starting you with a crazy budget, start with $25, $30, $40 a day, and then see how it performs. And if it doesn't work in the first 2 days, switch out your creatives. The best kind of creatives are raw. It's not high production. You want, ideally, you talking in the camera with B-roll of shots of people training with you, people that have gotten results, testimonials, and static images calling out your dream client.
Thank you so much. That was such a beautiful and valuable explanation of it. What do you see is the challenge once you set up a campaign for studio owners and wellness clinics owners? What do you feel like they struggle the most once that's set up and they start receiving leads? What do you feel like is their first challenge that they're facing?
The leads aren't good. The
And are
leads
the
are
leads
bad.
not good?
No. And I heard another great, awesome company called Gym Launch. They're for big box studios or bigger gyms, but not for EMS studios. But they said something that I think is so important. Those leads, that's your community. And yeah, some leads are not ideal for you, but it is an opportunity to tell them about what you're doing. And usually people are so busy with social media, with work, with family, with kids, that you get a few seconds. And we want to treat each and every opportunity as a chance to talk to them. And yes, you might not reach them in the beginning. You might not reach them in the afternoon. But if you have a campaign and also a regular schedule of reaching out to them, that lead that you think is a bad lead could actually be a great lead. So I think the biggest hurdle that people have is like, oh, I text them once and I called them once and they didn't answer.
Yes. Yes, what I also suggest is put yourself in the shoes of someone scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Facebook. You see a very attractive ad, you click on it. Facebook does everything for you, fills in your data, submit, right? How many feeds are you seeing per day? Be honest. Like, most of us spend a fair amount of time on IG scrolling, right? And you see so much information, so much different accounts, so much different posts, carousel, reels, right? So let's be fair. When you saw something like that, are you going to remember 3 days later?
No.
When that studio reaches out to you and be like, yes? No. And I think not taking it personally is so important, doing
Yeah.
lead nurturing and
Yeah.
understanding not to assume, not to judge, not to take it personally is super, super important. And I think it's a learning curve, like you need to learn about cold leads and how
Hmm.
to nurture them. And it's a process and it's something that you can win. Everyone can master it, but we have to understand how that journey goes, and that they're not going to remember sometimes an hour later. That's why we set up automations, and now our new baby, which is an AI agent, which is your new AI employee, is going to text them immediately, and if they don't text back, they call within 10 minutes. But let's be honest here, right? When is the last time you had a phone call? When is the last time you called your friends? Like, have you realized that we not even talk a lot on the phone, even with family and friends anymore? But now there is a lead and we expect them to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
When we don't even pick up the phone when our friends are calling us because we're
Absolutely.
so busy. That's the reality. And I think we don't think about that, We don't think about it. We're just like, oh, they don't answer. I hear this all the time. They don't answer.
Yeah.
Are you
But
answering your phone?
here's the thing. They don't answer when and our clients are guilty of this, and it drives me nuts. And I want to just tell you the truth. Speed to lead when you get a new lead is the most important factor to getting a response. And I'm talking about the first 15 to 30 seconds. That's the window you
15
have.
to 30 seconds, guys. We
Yes.
sometimes we follow up all the time because we see the leads coming in the CM for all our accounts. And I see you all the time following up with our customer. Hey, by the way, there are 8 people showing interest. Have you called them? What are they answering you?
Yeah, we called them 2 days later. Nobody picked up. That drives me nuts because here's the thing. Most of the time, it's not that the leads aren't working, is that a lot of times we have, and I'm guilty of this, we have bad habits. And we will get to it when we get to it. And we understand that you are in operations, that you are doing everything possible.
Yeah, you're probably just right now training with a customer.
But that's why we need technology. We need systems that are available in order to capture that, in order to message them when after hours, in order to, because that's how we increase the likelihood of getting that community that you're reaching out to come into the studio.
Yeah. Johan, explain to us a little bit more about the AI dialer, or sometimes we call it AI agent or AI employee. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah. So what we've invested in, and so much of AI is going into agents and taking tasks away from you and being able to reach out. So what we've done is that we are setting up these custom AI agents that essentially know everything about your company in order to get that speed to lead, to get that quick text. If it's after hours, to say, hey, I am an AI agent. I saw you were interested in our 6-week transformation and our 8-week transformation. Are there any questions that I can help you answer while or before you come in for your trial session? Right? So that's what the AI agent is there for, because the reality is that we cannot have a full-time employee. If you have that ability, do it. Have a full-time employee that will reach out in the first 15 to 30 seconds every time a new lead comes in. But if you don't, which is like most of us, that's where we have an agent, where it has a natural approach as well, because we also don't call people and right away, because we get bombarded with so many fake calls. So it texts and then it asks them, hey, can I give you a call to tell you about our 6-week transformation? And it will actually have a realistic voice. You should definitely try it on our website, emsmastermind.com, AI-agent. And you can see how real it is. So it's so important to have a realistic voice that, yes, people will tell that it's an AI agent sometimes, but if it gets them the answers that they want, if it gets these leads qualified, and it invites them to book a session with you, that is 75-80% of the work right there.
Yes. I have heard in the last couple of weeks when I would send that link and say, hey, test this AI, there was some pushback on that. Some studios, they said, oh, we already tried, it doesn't work. What would you answer to that?
So yes, there are a lot of AI agents that aren't customized, that don't focus exclusively on that service, but it's like an add-on to your CRM, or it's an add-on. And that's the benefit of, we've invested in a company that all they do is AI agents in order to, and it's getting better every day. But this company, all they do is AI agents, and it's so that you get the best possible service on just that piece, which again is so important, especially for studios that you're an operator owner.
Yes. And I see that too. Like, so we have a platform, we have a CIM, we talked about it, we're very open about it. We work with Go High Level, but obviously all this, like all kind of software companies right now, they all integrate AI, right? It doesn't matter if you're on Zoom, Canva, Instagram, Go High Level, you name them, any software company, they integrate AI, right? And they want obviously to serve you the most they can. That means they bring us in or on as much as they can. That doesn't mean that every tool, AI tool they bring on is really high level, is really great. And that's what we're doing is we don't just like use the tools on our platform and use them, but what we do is when we integrate a tool, we're really looking into who is right now the top one. Like you said, we work with a software they only do that, and that's why they are better than, for example, the AI agent software that our platform already have, but we choose not to use it, even it would been maybe even like more affordable or don't give us extra cost. But we wanted to make sure we built something that sounds actually so different and is really trained so well that I feel like the way it answers, I've barely seen in my career any trainer have the capability of answering, because it's so yeah, I've barely seen it in real, you know?
And
And
that
then it's like, I just want to like add this to it. And it's when people say, yeah, but you hear it's an AI agent. And I'm like, okay. But if the AI agent is actually better trained than a real employee, then let it be an AI agent. Because the way, I mean, I have like a, and I want maybe to just read that quick to you, because I've tested for a customer. We implemented it and I tested it. So I wanted to just like show you that you get an idea, because I really want to give you an idea how professional it is. So this is text, right? So the first thing is I saw a notification, hey Jemima, then like this AI agent called Zara here from XXX team. I saw you filled out the form, and it says, I saw you filled out the form for the EMS training session and wanted to personally reach out. This program is designed to help you get faster results in less time using our advanced EMS technology to maximize every workout. Would you like me to quickly walk you through it? It only takes a minute and it will help you make the most out of your transformation journey. And then it says again, Jemima. And then I said, yes, great. Just to confirm, you recently submitted a form showing interest in our program. Does that sound right? And then I said, yes, correct. Perfect. To help you best, could you tell me which type of EMS service you're interested? We offer a 6-week transformation program, a semi-private EMS training session, and membership packages. Which one sounds like the best fit for you? And then I said, 6 weeks, right? And it says, awesome choice. Our 6-week transformation program includes 12 customized EMS sessions, body scans, nutrition guidance, and full support to help you see visible results. So it gives you like all the values. I mean, and I don't want to go on and on and on, but what the point here is, it just gives you all these information where sometimes in real, like even the trainers in the studio sometimes don't know all the values that's in the program, right? And that's why I think it's really interesting, and I'm so excited that we have this tool right now.
Well, and it's really, in order to have a successful EMS studio and wellness clinic, and even us as an agency, we need successful systems. And those systems have to integrate with getting you the best results, to get you more leads, to get you paying leads, to get you qualified leads, right? So it's not just the AI agent, it's essentially the AI platform that we're building. So that's why in today's day, it gives you such an advantage to have an AI platform that's built for you in order to capture and qualify and book those leads. Because the part that Jemima hasn't mentioned yet is that it will reach out to that person for the next 3 days, and then it will reach out once a day for the next 7 days, and then it will reach out weekly forever if you want it, in order to finally get their attention.
I have never manually did this. Did you? Like,
No.
be honest right now. If you're listening right now, ask yourself, have you ever did that? And there is some beliefs around that. I mean, let's talk about, again, pushbacks, doubts that comes from studio owners, wellness clinics owners, when it comes to how often should you nurture a lead. Because I feel like many of us are afraid that we are too pushy. I hear this a lot. I don't want to sound too pushy. But they said stop, like they take it as, they take it almost personally, and then they don't want to deal with that, like they get. So what's your feedback on that when someone is really sensitive to or afraid of, being too pushy?
Yes, it's always about testing. Whether you're being too pushy or not, that's the cool thing with also a system that you can turn down the volume, right? So if you do want to get to that point where people are telling you, hey, it's too many messages, because that's what we need in order to get them to the door.
That means you have someone's attention, actually. Exactly. Have you thought of that?
Exactly. It's too many messages. And yeah, there is a fine line between annoying and there's definitely rules, and we want to follow the rules in our local area and only reach out in certain hours, even though our clients or leads are probably filling out your form at like 1 a.m. But given those rules, you want to leverage them. You want to be able to knock and wave and say, hey, I'm still here. And people, the reality is, me included, we get tired of that. Like if someone doesn't answer us, we feel rejection. And that's the cool thing about an AI agent, that it won't feel rejection. Because I actually talked about it with one of our clients, that we were talking to the front office person, and they said, oh, I've already called them 3 times. I feel kind of bad reaching out to them again. And it's like, no, we need to reach out continuously.
That's such a good point. The AI agent will not take anything personally. The AI agent will never get sick, never get their period, never have a bad day or grumpy. Not that something is, I'm not talking about something that it's wrong to be human, guys. It's like, be human, right? But we cannot stop this development in technology. We cannot stop AI. AI is happening. So why not using it right now? Why not use it for the things that have been so hard for you, right?
Exactly. Let it do the heavy lifting and bridge it to the personal connection that they are going to get with you.
Yes. I have a question for you, Johan. How many customers do I need in a month to sign up in order to pay for all of it?
I mean, that's the great thing about working with us, or why you need an irresistible offer. You need 2 to 3 clients, 2 to 5.
But not in their lifetime spending, but literally just the first payment.
The first 6 weeks.
I'd say it depends on the offer they sign up, but that's the cool thing. You need like 2 customers, I'd say, and then but just the first payment, and they pay for all of it.
Yeah. And
so that, like, talking about risk, right? What's the risk here? Let's talk about what's the risk.
Yeah. And whether you're doing it, we want you to do it with us if you're an EMS studio, if you're a wellness clinic. But if you're even doing it with someone else, if they're just running ads for you and they're not addressing your offer and how to get a high ticket offer and how to get them in the door, then run away, because you need all of that in order to make it profitable. And sadly, we're seeing it with so many of these studios that, like Jemima often says, they copy broken systems, and they're offering personal training at Planet Fitness monthly rates, which is insane.
Yeah, it is. It's actually sad. There's another thing that I've noticed I want to talk about, and this is when there's an objection, right? Or there's a pushback from a prospect. One could be, oh, the other studio, the other competitor is way cheaper than you. And then clients turn around to me and say, I'm not sure about this premium offer because of one pushback. So really? So that means we need to copy another broken system because of one pushback. Or the question is, do we have to actually realize that this is my turning point where I have to get better in handling objections, getting better in the confidence in my own value? And this is an invitation. If you feel shaken, almost baffled by an objection or pushback, then this is a sign. That is a sign that this is something you really have to work on.
Yeah.
You need to work on how you handle objections. You need to work on your offer. You need to work on understanding your own value. Once you know that, and once you know that you got to deal with this objection, and also frankly defer between who is meant to work with you and not, because it's if you don't want to work with these cheap people that are like, oh, I'm going to go to this other place because it's cheaper, not talking about what they're receiving there, not talking about the value.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I wanted to mention, and we actually talked about it twice yesterday with two of our clients because we do one-on-one coaching,
Yes.
is the trial session happens. They present the offer. The people say, "Let me think about it," and they let them go and think about it and hope and try to get them back in 2 days later with a question like, "Hey, did you like the workout? Are you sore? What do you think? Do you want to come back in?" What do you think about that process, Jemima?
The truth is, when someone gets out the door and you let them leave after they told you, I have to think about it, or I have to feel like, you lost them. You lost them. That's the truth.
Say 80 to 90%
Yeah,
is that
you lost
they're
them.
out.
That's the truth. You have exceptions. There's always exceptions that someone comes back to you, and I wish you that. But the truth is, like, when they leave at this point, chances are super, super high you have just lost them. Instead, I would learn to ask them a question, right? To say, hey, what is it really that you need to think about?
Exactly.
What is really right now, what is it that holds you back? Can we talk through that and get to the bottom on if it's the price, if it's uncertainty, if it's like they're just scared. Most of the time, they're just scared to make a bad decision for themselves. They have probably invested so many times before in programs and they haven't worked out, and they just don't want to do this again. And it's less about like spending money and failing. It's more failing for them again. So you can easily conquer that with simply saying, we have a money back guarantee. So if you're afraid to make a wrong decision right now, let me tell you that we have a guarantee inbuilt. That comes with terms, but the terms are there not only to protect us, but to make sure that you really come to the sessions and implement our advice, because then you're gonna get to the result that you're dreaming of. And that's basically it, right? But yeah, my advice would be, don't just say, yeah, go home, think about it. No, what do you need to think about?
Exactly. Bring them back. And that's why it's so important to have a process of qualifying the clients. And I know we've gone into that so much, but you just got to remember that it's again about a conversation, and they're there because they really are giving you the chance to take them on that transformation journey. And most of the time, including ourselves, we need someone to get us out of our own way. And in that intro session, they are there for that. You need to help them get out of their own way, bring them back to why they were there. Literally ask them, why did you come here instead of other places? That question needs to be answered. What has not worked for you? That you need to know what hasn't worked.
Exactly. And when you're doing this genuinely, like, I'm talking really genuinely. I'm not talking about being salesy, pushy, all these things.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like being interested in what's holding them back, what's their fears, what's really going on within them, and you listening to them, you're gonna get them.
Yeah.
You're gonna overcome something really big. Like, yeah, that's really it.
And it's uncomfortable at first, but the only way to get through that is by doing the reps, doing it over and
Over again.
and over.
And when you experience objections and pushbacks, good. Like, notice that there's areas that you still need to work on. We constantly have to like reflect back on us where we need to be better. It's like practicing, it's like training. It's so interesting because we're in the kind of industry where it's a lot about getting better and training, and it's repetition in the end of the day. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're never done, and you just get better and better and better. And it's the same about lead nurturing and sales. It's about repeating it, like reviewing it. I highly suggest to record your own trial sessions and onboardings and sales conversations. Record them, send them to us. Let us review them. Let us evaluate it. You will find so many things where you can get better. You never gonna be perfect. There's always room for improvement. And I think when you accept that this is a part of the business that needs constant attention and training, then you're winning. You're literally winning, instead of like saying, oh, it's the wrong offer, or the leads doesn't work, or like the AI agent doesn't work. It's like, no, how can we improve this? Because without lead nurturing, without sales, there's no business. You need to master it. It's not enough to have a fancy tool. I love the tools that we're working with. I love it all. Like my love for electromuscle stimulation and all the other biohacking tools out there, it's great. But if we don't know how to overcome objections, if we don't know what it takes to get someone's attention, there's no business.
Absolutely.
So there was another thing that we wanted to talk about, and that is, like, you asked me that the other day, right? You said, Jemima, what would you recommend in terms of hiring? Would you hire a really good trainer that has no sales capabilities, or would you rather hire someone that's really good in sales but is not as good as a trainer?
Yeah. What is that first hire, and what is the skill? Because often it's so hard to find someone who actually has great EMS experience, but I feel like that's the first thing that our studio owners go for. They're like, I'm trying to find someone that has EMS experience. And
Yeah.
what's your take on that?
So I've created a hiring guide because it's something all the studios need trainers. There's also like quite big fluctuation in these days, and you can burn a lot of money when you hire the wrong people, because you get them onboarded. It takes time, it costs money, and then they leave after like 2 months in, even sometimes earlier, right? So we created a hiring guide so that we understand which are actually people that you want to hire and which are people that you don't want to hire. So I want to talk about a little bit the people that you don't want to hire, right? So you don't want to hire the lone wolf. I'm telling you a little bit about the characteristic of a lone wolf. So it's someone that's extremely strategic, though, and they're smart, but they want to be very independent, and they struggle really with team collaboration. And in a studio and a clinic, you need someone who's a team player, right? And they don't have that excitement that you need. And when you promote biohacking, very new technology tools, you don't want to also hire someone that's very ego-centered, like an ego-centered performer, like someone who's very, very ambitious, but they are more focused on themselves, and they're very impatient sometimes with customers. So that doesn't work.
So who should you hire?
So you actually should hire, and here are my top threes, right? Number one is the caregiver. So it's someone that is naturally warm, engaging, very people oriented, but they're also very structured, and they love help others. They really genuinely love helping someone achieve their goal. Someone that is very motivational. So it's called the motivator. They're very high energy, outgoing. They love sales. They love like sharing this new opportunity with someone, and they have no problem overcoming any objections. And the last one is a very charismatic leader. So it's someone that naturally knows how to lead, knows how to coach. They're very passionate and committed, and they can balance like between sales and coaching. In fact, every coaching becomes a little bit of sales, because they bring in like testimonials, and they ask like about referrals. And to really answer your question back, I personally think I rather like hire someone that has that charismatic leader motivator inbuilt, meaning they love sales. They're very extroverted. They know how to communicate. They love, to win, to close a deal naturally,
Okay.
right? And then teach them about electromuscle stimulation and teach
Wow.
how to do a good training, because that is way more realistic to accomplish than hire someone that's a really good trainer, like knows it, but is like a lone wolf,
Set in their ways.
or what I said before is like more like a dreamer, right? Someone that is deeply empathic, but the problem is they're not sales driven, and most of the time they have very bad limiting beliefs about it.
Yeah.
And in my experience, it's really hard to break that.
So I know that you've helped a lot of people, including our clients, to where to go out in the market to do that. What are 2 tools or 1 tool that you recommend to right away start getting local candidates to come
Indeed.
in? Okay.
Like, we tried different platforms. Indeed is the absolute winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we write like a very specific ad, plus we bring in the characteristics that we're looking for, it's great. Like, you can get candidates within a day, and then you can further qualify them if they're the right fit. And I would really look out for people who are more sales driven
Yeah.
than coaching driven. Obviously they need to be empathic and genuine, and need to have trainer experience, but it's worth it to look into if they have that, because like I said before, it's hard to break someone's very deep rooted limiting beliefs about sales, and you need that because sales never stops. Because now, think of that, you learn now about lead nurturing. You learn about like having them signed up for their first package. It doesn't end there. You constantly need to be able to focus on this positive aspects of their journey, have them, give you that testimonial, give you that referral, and you need to be able to communicate with them and stay in communication with them, why it's important for them to maintain it. That is not just like a short-term thing and then they're out trying for the next thing, but that you want to win them over into your community.
So often, especially with our clients, we hear, "Oh, I actually don't need to go to Indeed. I have a friend or I have a family member that embodies some of these qualities. I think I want to start with them since I already know them and I want to bring them into my operation." What would you say to that?
It's a red flag.
Why?
I would not recommend mixing family with business to begin with. I've done it. It didn't work. It was very hurtful. I don't blame like the other party in it. I learned my lessons from it, but naturally, I do think it makes sense to separate business from family.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think friends as well, because there's so much there. And
The truth is, no one of your family and friends want to work under you. Nobody wants to be like, no sibling or friend wants to become your employee.
there we go.
And unless you want them as a competitor, don't do it. Simple.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. So invest the money, go on Indeed, and hire locally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that's
A lot of information for one episode.
behind the scenes. So many things that you can do today and start researching to make your process, getting more leads, all these things better. So
Absolutely. Thank you, Johan, for getting
Until
deeper
next time.
into campaigns. I hope you enjoyed our episode. Join in for the next ones. Follow us if you're not following us yet on EMS Mastermind. And if you want to know more, there is a book. It's called Shockingly Successful. It's on Amazon, where we have the full plan in it. And there's also a free strategy call available for you if you qualify. And we would love to meet you and get to know you better personally. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.